Now, something else to remember when planting Japanese maples don't like to be bare rooted when they're in leaf. So Japanese maples are a tree that you can bare root when they're out of leaf and they're in their dormancy, but it's not recommended. So the more you can keep that root ball intact, typically the better. So I always stress here, if you're going to bare root a Japanese maple, especially if you're going from ground to ground, you only want to move that when it's out of leaf. So if you're planting a Japanese maple, you're only going to want to move one from the ground to another location out of leaf. Now, container to ground can actually happen any time of the year, but when that Japanese maple's in leaf, you don't want to bare root it. It's going to have more transpiration. The tree's going to lose more moisture. Those roots that were feeding that upper part are going to be, struggling because they're not going to have the energy they had. The microfibrous roots are going to get disturbed, and some of that leaves are going to get droopy. You're probably going to have a little bit of dieback if you're moving a Japanese maple or breaking up the root ball heavily when they're in leaf.
And I think people who have experience with some other plants that they can do this with are a little confused that Japanese maples you don't do this with.
Right.
And we see this more often with people who are taking Japanese maples into bonsai pots. And they're taking them into the wrong time of the season when the plant is in leaf, disturbing those roots. And that causes a Japanese maple to really almost just drop all of its leaves right away and can kill the Japanese maple. So that's one of the biggest things is not bare rooting a Japanese maple when you're planting it or if you're moving up to an unusual container like a bonsai pot. That is one of the worst things you can do is try to do that when the plant is in leaf.